Hey, it's Rick again, and I'm in my room again today, but I want to keep my video kind of short because this is a kind of risque topic or complicated, more of a complicated topic, I would have to say. Suicide is something that a lot of people, not just gay and bisexual and lesbian people, a lot of people go through a time in their life where they're depressed or they're suicidal, and it's always a really dark time in your life. For me, I had just started drinking. I started taking pills. I was using cough medicine because I was 16 and had no brains. But it was it was there, and I remember growing up my entire life being like, I would never be one to contemplate suicide. I'm like, that's an awful thing. Why would I ever even think about that? And then I remember just kind of sitting there one day thinking to myself while I was depressed, being like, having that thought in the very back of my head, and that thought scared the hell out of me. It was there, and I knew that I wouldn't act upon it soon, but the fact that it was there scared me really bad. And so that stayed there for a little bit, and then from there, it got a little bit like, well, maybe I should drink a little more, or maybe I should take a couple more pills, or maybe I should down the whole bottle of NyQuil this time, or something like that. And I actually kind of remember one time I was like, you know what, fuck it. So what did I do? I took about, I want to say 14 triple C's. I want to say it was. I took a lot. It wasn't a good thing. And the last thing I remember, and I guess this is why it happened because I was depressed. But I remember lying in bed and just, I remember the light was on completely. And I just wanted to die. And out of all the corners of my floor, like between like the wall and the floor, like this, all of this black shadow was coming out, and it was just enveloping me, and it was one of the weirdest things I'd ever experienced in my life. It was like it was ending, and I was terrified, but at the same time I was a little bit relieved, which is why it was so confusing and complicated. But yeah, that was it. And then there was one time where like I remember like out of nowhere I was just in the kitchen, blah blah blah, and then like for the longest time, for like a month, I could not shut up my brain. Like it just wouldn't stop thinking, and I was just picking up a knife. I was cutting something up, don't even remember what, and the thought, just came out of nowhere, and it was like surprise, and I was just kind of like, okay. So what ended up happening was, and I know I sound kind of happy right now, like I'm joking, but I'm really not. I'm just trying to make the best of a bad situation, I guess. But I took the knife and it was up to my throat, and I was there for a couple minutes, thought about it, and then I came to my senses. I put it down, went to my room, and I just thought about it for a long time. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get out of this. I'm not going to be depressed anymore. And like I said, I was dealing with all this while on antidepressants and while stuff was going south with my life coach. But to get out of a depression to the point where you're suicidal, I believe that you cannot rely on a life coach or anything like that. The only person I think, well, the biggest person that can help you in a situation like this would be yourself. If you can't allow yourself to move forward or put something behind you in the past, or if you just can't do it, then there's only so much you can do. You can see, in my opinion, this is my opinion. There have been a lot of other people, but personally to me, I just couldn't do anything else if I physically could not get myself out of this rut. And I remember just waking up one day, and I remember I hated this. I was losing weight because I was on antidepressants. I looked like a zombie because I was constantly drinking or taking pills. It was a mess. My friends were starting to like, they didn't hate me, but they were like, we don't want to like deal with the same old this anymore. And I didn't let it get too far before I was like, you know what? No, that's not gonna happen. Maybe that was like 3 or 4 days where like, I don't know, and I did it pretty fast too, probably a little bit faster than I should have, and that'll be a different video because even though I came out and it was depressing and sad, I also went through a period where all I did was party. That's it. It was the summer. I clubbed. I drank, and not because I was depressed, but because I was having fun, and that's all I did for an entire summer and half of my senior year. So there was that. But going back to the depression, I got a little bit sidetracked. Um, I did reach out and I did seek out when I did think about the suicide stuff. I did go to a doctor. Um, that was when I first went to a therapist, and I was like, I think I need antidepressants. So they gave me one, and like you guys know, that wasn't a good thing for me. I started losing weight rapidly. I lost 14 pounds, and as you can tell, there's not a whole lot to me. But I went down. I think I was like 123, 124 pounds, and all I was eating was Mentos, and I wasn't depressed anymore. But at the same time, I wasn't happy. It was like the pill just took away, I guess, the sad or the hate or whatever was inside me, and it just moved it to another part of my body. Like it was still there, but it wasn't affecting me. And with the negative side effect that I was losing weight rapidly and being so skinny, I knew I had to get off them because I literally hadn't eaten anything in 2 weeks. But like I said, it was up to me because at this point in time, I was feuding with just about everyone and everybody except my very close friends, which thank God were there for me. But I would have to say that although my friends helped me a tremendous amount, the friends that I kept, the friends that I lost, because there were some that I lost, it it was kind of, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain unless you're really in a situation like this. But like I said, I got myself together. I wasn't depressed. I was finally starting to get myself together. I was picking myself off the side of the road, the remains that were left, this train wreck that had happened to me. And I got better. And it took a while, and it took up until about now, a year and a half later, to really like be able to like sit down and be like, I'm fine. Like to go ahead and sit down and say I'm fine. It's going to take time. I mean, I did it kind of fast too, because I've known people who've gone 3, 4 years before they can fully accept themselves. And although I'm not there yet, I know I'm really, really close. I even say that I might be there by the end of this year. Who knows? I'm going to California, college. I'm leaving Italy. I'm excited, but it took a lot to get out of that depression, and it was one of the hardest things I think that I had ever done, if not the hardest. But everybody varies. Everybody's different. My videos run a little bit long, so if you have any questions or you want to share anything about maybe your depression, how it affected you, or how it affected people around you, or if you want to go ahead and just leave a comment and be like, hey, I was depressed and I did this, this, and this, and it worked out for me, or I did this and it totally backfired on me, go ahead and leave a comment. I mean, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to be as open minded as possible and just try and take in all the, I guess, just anything I can get right now. And I mean, I know it's not a big help, but I wish I would have had this channel or a channel like this when I came out because I didn't and it was hard. So if you do have a question or comment, just leave it down or inbox me. I'm trying to make these videos really fast, so I'll be pumping them out faster the next couple of weeks. So hopefully I'll get back to you.